The room was large, round, and cold. Lights from 100 different stars shined through the glass ceiling. The members of the Galactic Council sat in silence, watching the screen in front of them. They had seen war. They had seen planets burn. But this was something new. On the screen, a small ship moved slowly through space. It was dark gray, almost invisible, with no flags. No markings, just a strange symbol on the side. The ship came from a planet no one had talked about. In years, Earth for centuries. The Council had ignored Earth. It was seen as a low-tech world, primitive, emotional, weak, a place of war and music and chaos. After Earth's last message 300 years ago, they had gone completely silent. No ships, no signals, nothing, until now, one ship alone. Moving directly into a war zone. The Zarkon Empire had claimed the sector 2 years ago. No one dared challenge them. The Zarkons were brutal. It destroyed 6 planets in the last 3 months, and now the human ship was heading straight for them. Council leader Varel, a tall, blue-skinned being with 4 eyes, finally spoke. "What is this, a mistake?" "No," said Admiral Kelter of the Aran Fleet. "It's real. The ship came from Earth's original space gate." "Why now?" asked another counselor, a glowing being of light. "They've been silent for centuries." No one had an answer. Inside the ship, the human pilot sat still. Her name was Commander Ilara Dane. Her face was calm, cold, focused. Her ship's AI spoke in a soft voice. "Zarkon ships detected ahead, 10 war cruisers, charging weapons." "Send the message," Ilara said. Back in the council room, the screen flashed. A voice came through clear and sharp. "This is Earth ship Helios. Zarkon forces, leave this system now. You're in violation of Galactic Code 17. You have 60 seconds to withdraw." Everyone in the council chamber stared at each other. The Zarkons. Draw. A deep laugh came through next. It was General Kravox, commander of the Zarkon Fleet. "Earth, you dare speak to us? You are nothing. You are dust. You are forgotten." Then silence. 30 seconds passed. 50 seconds. At the 60-second mark, the human ship stopped moving. And then, nothing happened. No attack, no weapons fired. Just silenced until suddenly, the Zarkon ships disappeared. One by one, they vanished. From the screen, no explosions, no energy spikes, just dash gone. Panic filled the council room. "How?" one counselor shouted. "Impossible," another yelled. "Even the Aran ships can't do that." Leader Varel stood up, his voice cold. "What power is this?" Admiral Keltar checked the logs. No weapons fired, no energy detected. It's like the ships were deleted? "Is that even possible?" someone whispered. Kel didn't answer. Back on the screen, the Earth. Ship turned. Another message played, to the Galactic Council. "Earth has returned. We watched while you allowed monsters to rise. No more." The Council sat frozen. Earth, the forgotten world, had just destroyed 10 of the galaxy's most feared warships, without firing a shot, far below. In the quiet of space, Ilara closed her eyes. "It begins," she said softly. The council room was louder now. Shouts, arguments, fear. The destruction or disappearance of 10 Zarkon warships had shaken everyone. The Galactic Council had ruled for thousands of years, but no one had ever seen anything like this, and it came from Earth. A planet they thought was silent. A planet they thought was weak. "Council leader." Varel slammed his fist on the table. The room fell quiet. "This is not a random act," he said. "Earth sent that ship for a reason, and it was a warning." "More than a warning," said Counselor Zill, his glowing body flickering with stress. "It was a show of power. A power we don't understand." "Maybe we should ask for peace," said a soft voice from the side. "Peace?" shouted Admiral Keltar. "With Earth? Hey, we ignored them for 300 years? We laughed at them. We let the Zarkons take human colonies near the rim." "Exactly," said Varel. "Now they've come to remind us. They haven't forgotten." In deep space, the Zarkon command ship floated alone inside. General Kravox stared at the screen where the other ships had disappeared. Just hours ago, he was angry, embarrassed, afraid. Double quotes. No ship does this to the Zarkons. And walks away, he growled. His second-in-command Vorta spoke carefully. General, maybe this Earth ship has new technology. Maybe we should study it. Kravox turned to her slowly. No, we destroy it. We send a message. Earth must know who rules this galaxy. He ordered a fleet 20 warships to attack the human ship. Back on the Earth ship Helios, Commander Alara Dane stood at the front window, looking out into the stars. Her AI spoke. Zarkon ships approaching. 20 this time, heavily armed. Them come, she said. The Galactic Council was watching again. Live feed from a hidden satellite showed everything. 20 red dots moved in fast Sarkin warships, armed and ready in the center of the screen. One small gray ship, the Helios. The Council held its breath. This time, they'll use full force, said Keltar. Let's see what Earth is really hiding. The battle began. Or, it was supposed to. The Zarkon ships opened fire. Missiles, plasma blasts, laser fire, everything aimed at the Helios. But nothing hit. Every weapon passed through the space where the ship was. But it wasn't there anymore. The Helios moved like nothing the Council had ever seen. 1 second, it was here. The next it was behind them, then above, then gone, then back. The Zarkon ships tried to follow. It was like chasing a ghost. One by one, the warships lost control. Their engines failed. Their systems shut down. Their weapons exploded. From the inside, on the Council screen, red dots blinked out. One after another, within 5 minutes, the entire Zarkon fleet was destroyed. The Helios had not fired a single visible shot. Gasps filled the Council room. This is impossible, whispered Counselor Zill. Even the ancients couldn't do this, said another. They didn't just come back, said Varel. They evolved in silence. A new message came through from the Helios. Alara's voice was calm, almost emotionless. To the Council. This was your second warning. You watched evil grow. You stayed silent while empires crushed the weak. Earth will not stay silent, not anymore. No Zarkon, home system, panic spread. General Kravox had lost half his fleet. He looked at his screen, eyes wide. What are they? He asked no one. How did Earth do this? Alara stared into deep. Spaced her AI spoke again. Orders, Commander. Send the signal, she said to Earth. To everyone. At that moment, deep in hidden places across the galaxy, ancient Earth satellites woke up. Codes were sent, ships hidden in asteroid fields turned on, old allies, long forgotten, received messages, and Earth moved. The Council saw it, a wave of signals coming from Earth. Fast, coordinated, military dash level. Admiral Kelter stood slowly. This wasn't just a return. It's a plan. The Council chamber was quiet again. This time the silence was heavy with fear. 2 fleets were gone. Earth's ship, the Helios, had destroyed 30 Zarkon warships without using visible weapons. No one understood how. No one understood why. But one thing was clear, was not what they thought. Council leader Varel looked at the others. We cannot sit here doing nothing. Admiral Keltar stood. I agree. We must understand what the humans have become. We need answers, said Counselor Zill. Before the galaxy panics, they made a decision, a secret one. They would send a spy aboard the Helios. The spy's name was Laron Zev, former Black Ops agent from the Aaron worlds. He was fast, smart, and invisible to most scanners. His ship was small, no bigger than a fighter jet. It could attach silently to the hull of another ship, even a human ship. Loran reached the Helios in 6 hours. He floated near the silent gray ship, holding his breath as the systems ran checks. No defense shields, he said quietly. No movement. It's waiting. Loran activated his stealth systems and attached to the Helios. A small hatch opened. Strange, he whispered. Why would they leave it unlocked? Inside the ship was cold, clean, dark. The halls were empty. No lights, no sound. No signs of life. It didn't feel like a warship. It felt ancient. He moved slowly, recording everything. Strange symbols lined the walls, circles and lines that glowed faintly. This tech is not in any council database, he whispered. Not even close. In the center of the ship, he found something even stranger. A large sphere, floating in midair, spinning slowly. Inside the sphere, energy moved like water, quiet but powerful. It pulsed, and with each pulse, Lorraine felt his chest tightened, like the ship was alive. Then a voice. Why are you here? Laurent froze. The voice came from nowhere. Soft, calm. It wasn't a machine. It sounded human. Who said that? He asked. You are trespassing, the voice said. But we are not angry, only curious. Lights turned on slowly. Laurent could now see the walls moving, shifting like breathing skin. This ship, he said, stepping back, is alive. Back in the council room, Lauren's live feed came through. The leaders watched with wide eyes. What kind of technology is this? Asked Counselor Zill. It's more than technology, said Admiral Keltar. It's organic. Thanks. Laurent continued forward. He reached the command center. There. At the front of the ship sat Commander Alara Dane. She wasn't alone. Beside her stood a second figure tall, thin, with glowing eyes and metal skin. Not human, not machine. Something. In between? Who are you? Laurent asked. The metal figure turned its head. I am Solus, first of the Earthborn. The council gasped. Earthborn? Virel asked. What is that? Lara spoke. While you watched wars, Earth went quiet. But we didn't sleep. We evolved. She looked at the camera directly at Laurent. At you. At the council, at all of them. We created new life, new minds, not just machines, not just humans, something more. Laurent felt a wave of fear. What do you want? He asked. To fix the galaxy, Solus replied. You broke. You allowed monsters like the Zarkons to rise. He stayed silent. Just like you did when Earth called for help centuries ago. The ship pulsed again. This time lights flared around the sphere. Laurent backed away. What is that thing? He asked. Alara answered softly. It's called the core. It doesn't just power the ship. It thinks, it learns, it decides. Laurent felt the fear rising in his chest. You let a machine decide. Laurent looked sad. No, we became something. Better. A union. Mind and machine. Human instinct, machine focus. We became something new. Suddenly Laurent's come device buzzed. A short message. Just one line. Pull out now. Zarkons, approaching your location. But it was too late. The ship. Locked down. Solus turned to Laurent. Stay. Watch. Learn. Outside, a new Zircon fleet had arrived. 40 ships this time. The Helios remained still. But inside, the core was glowing. The hum grew louder. And Alara whispered, Time for words is over. The council screen turned white, then black, then nothing. No signal, no feed, no sound. Just silence. The council watched, helpless. What just happened? Someone asked. K. Eltar looked down. We sent a spy into a god's temple, he said quietly, and woke it up. Smoke filled the council chamber. Not real smoke, but warning lights, alarms, failed data feeds. The system couldn't process. What just happened? The Earth ship Helios had vanished from their screens again, so had the Zarkon. Fleet, no wreckage, no signal, no answers. Only silence. Council leader Virel stood still. Behind him, other members whispered. Another fleet gone. Can they erase ships like that? Is Earth using black hole tech? Or something worse? Virel raised his hand. Enough. We must understand this. We must understand them. In the dark hallways beneath the council chamber, A hidden room opened. Only a few knew this room existed. Old, dusty, full of forgotten records sealed for centuries. Counselor Zill entered slowly, holding a light. He had heard a rumor once. Earth had been more powerful in the past. Long ago, before the council erased the records, he searched through files, data logs, and broken tablets. Hours passed, then he found it. An old star chart dated over 2,000 years ago. In the center was Earth, but not as a minor planet, as a capital. A command world. Zill's hands shook. This isn't possible. He activated a hidden log, a video. Played an old human woman with silver hair, looked into the camera. "This is Admiral Revelang of Earth Command," she said. "We are shutting down Project Helios. The galaxy is not ready. Earth will go silent, but not forever. We will return, and the stars need balance again." The message ended. Counselor Zill ran back to the chamber. He didn't wait for permission. Placed the ancient data core on the table. Earth wasn't a backwater, he said. They were the first rulers of the stars. Everyone stared at the screen. Thousands of systems under Earth's banner. A vast empire. Then silence. "What happened to them?" asked Kel-Tar. XIL answered. "They stopped everything. They deleted themselves, hid their ships, shut down their tech, like they erased their own presence." "But why?" asked Varel. "Because they saw what was coming," Zill said. "They saw what the galaxy would become." Now the council understood. Something terrifying. Earth hadn't just returned. They had waited, planned, prepared. On the far edge of the galaxy, deep underground on a forgotten moon, a large black gate began to open. Machines powered up silent for over 1,000 years. A signal had woken them. A signal from Helios, inside the gate. A massive ship stood ready. 10 times the size of Helios, shaped like a spear, silent, unmoving. Until now, its name, Earth Ark Leviathan, and it was waking up. Meanwhile, the Zarkon homeworld was in chaos. Their emperor was dead. No one knew how. One moment he was speaking, the next gone. His guards, too, just vanished. A new voice echoed in their palace. "Cold. Cold, this is Earth. Stand down, or fall." The Zarkon sent no reply, because there was no one left in the control room, only shadows. Back at the council, the mood had changed. This was no longer about politics, or pride, or control. This was survival. "We must contact Earth," said Virel. "And say what?" Zeltar asked. "That we're sorry?" Zill looked at them. "We asked for peace. We asked for help." But Earth had already sent its next message. All across the galaxy. Old machines began to turn on. Old satellites blinked to life. Hidden, Earth ships uncloaked near key council stations. And then a voice. "This is Commander Alara Dane of Earth. 300 years ago we called for help. No one came. Now we have returned. We do not seek war, but we will end it. Every major race Archon, Aaron Dralene, Serari received the same message, and they all said the same thing in private. Earth is not a planet anymore. It's a force." In a quiet corner of the galaxy, a small child looked up at the night sky. A bright star blinked once, then disappeared. His mother held him close. "Don't worry, Earth is awake." The galaxy trembled, not because of a battle, but because of what was coming. The old name. Earth was no longer just a planet. It had become something more, something the stars had forgotten, something the council had ignored. A sleeping giant. Now, awake, Zarkon forces didn't believe in fear. They ruled through strength, numbers, and fear itself. But now they were afraid. 20-5 fleets gone, their emperor dead, and still. No one knew how Earth was doing it, in the darkness of deep space. The Earth Ark Leviathan moved slow, silent, unstoppable. It didn't look like a ship. It looked like a god, long, spear-shaped, covered in ancient armor and shifting metal plates that reflected no light. Inside, hundreds of Earthborn weighted beings like Solus, not human, not machine, but something new. At the center of the ship stood the core, bigger than the one inside Helios. Older, smarter, Commander Alara Dane stood in silence, watching Leviathan rise. From its 1,000-year sleep, her voice was calm, but her eyes burned with purpose. It's time. Back in the Galactic Council, panic had replaced pride. Leaders argued, some shouted, some begged. Admiral Keltar slammed his fist down. We attack now, or we surrender everything. Counselor Zill spoke calmly. You don't understand. You still think Earth is fighting for power? They're not. They're fighting for balance. Suddenly, a message came through. Live feed. A Zarkon planet, one of their strongest military zones, was under attack. Not by ships, but by silence. Council screens showed it all. A thick fog covered the planet's skies. Zarkon soldiers ran. Confused then. The fog began to glow. Machines stopped. Weapons melted. Towers collapsed, like crushed paper. The fog wasn't gas. It was nanites. Microscopic. Invisible. Countless. They didn't kill. Not directly. They disabled. Disarmed. Disassembled. Within 10 minutes, entire Zarkon defense network shut down. Without a single shot fired. No fire, no explosion, just silence. And a message. Earth does not destroy. Earth ends war. Zarkons, once proud conquerors, now faced something they couldn't touch, couldn't stop. They tried to launch missiles. Their launch pads vanished. They sent troops into orbit. Their ships froze mid-dash flight. No warning, no mercy, only precision. The council watched in horror. Andog, Kel-Tar whispered, "We have nothing that can fight this." Zill turned to Virel. "What do we do now?" Virel didn't answer, because deep inside, he knew the truth. Earth wasn't asking for a war. They were asking for a reckoning. Elsewhere, across distant stars, resistance groups rose up. Human colonies that had been forgotten abandoned. Long ago, now had power again. Earth ships appeared. Above them, offering protection, technology, hope. The old human symbol 3 stars above a single line was painted across every SKYPORT.Earth had returned as a protector. But to its enemies, it returned as judgment in a hidden lab near the Council's core world. Scientists rushed to understand what Earth had become. They studied the nanite fog. It didn't match anything. No known tech, no signals. No weakness. They scanned the signal. From Leviathan, they couldn't break it. The code rewrote itself every second, alive, adaptive, like it knew it was being watched. Then the council got a private message, one line, from Commander Alara Dane herself. "This is not war. This is correction." Admiral Keltar stood up, shaking. "This is madness. They're taking over everything. They're restoring everything," corrected Counselor Exel, in the ruins of the Zarkon capital. A child walked through the quiet streets. No smoke, no fire, no bodies. But everything was still. Then a soft hum filled the air. The Earthborn descended. Silent figures of light and metal. They scanned the child, then offered him water and warmth. This wasn't destruction. It was something else, a restart, a warning to all. You ruled through fear. We will rule through balance. Back aboard Leviathan, the core opened, and from inside, a voice spoke for the first time in centuries. Not human, not machine, just truth. We watched, we waited. Now we fix what was broken. And the galaxy realized Earth didn't return to take control. It returned because no one else deserved it. Not anymore. The council was falling apart. Not with bombs, not with battles, but with fear. And truth. The kind of truth no one wanted to face. Earth was no longer asking questions. It was giving orders, and the galaxy wasn't ready for that. Inside the great council chamber, the leaders gathered once more. But this time there was no unity. Each species now had its own idea of what to do. Surrender, fight, run. The unity of the council, something that had lasted 500 years, was breaking council. Leader Varel stood and looked around the table. "No one here speaks with one voice anymore," he said. "That is dangerous." Admiral Keltar, of the Drillene, slammed his hand on the table. "What's dangerous is letting Earth take over. They erased fleets, destroyed weapons, and now control over 30 systems. They're not fighting, they're replacing us." Counselor Zill of the Aaron leaned forward. "They are doing what we should have done centuries ago. They ended the Zarkon threat in days. Without mass death, without war, they're fixing the galaxy." Keltar laughed bitterly. "No, they're conquering it." Meanwhile, across the stars, more Earth ships appeared, not just Leviathan and Helios. Now, entire fleets awakened silent, for centuries hidden in deep space. On dead moons and inside gas giants, each one carried Earthborn. Not human, not machine, but both. And each one followed the core signal. On peaceful worlds, Earth sent help. Food, medicine, clean energy. People cheered. On cruel worlds, Earth sent judgment. Tyrants vanished. Armies froze mid-strike. Weapons turned to dust. People watched in awe and in fear. Back in the council, the Sorari delegation stood. Up, their leader Mara spoke coldly. "We will not stand by while Earth redraws borders. They have not declared war, but they act like rulers. We withdraw from the council." Gasps filled the chamber. "You would leave now?" Virel asked. "When unity is most needed." Mara nodded. "Unity is dead. Earth killed it." Soon after, others followed. The Zardal Syndicate pulled their fleets back. The Orion Alliance refused to share data. The council was no longer one voice. It was many, and many of those voices were now turning against each other. Outside, Earth did not speak again. Not yet. It didn't need to. Its actions spoke louder than words. On a small mining world, a group of rebels had taken over a colony. They demanded ships, food, and weapons. They threatened to kill the workers, but before they could, fire. A single Earth probe arrived. It hovered in the sky. The rebels laughed. "It's just a drone," one said. Then all their guns melted in their hands. The ground split beneath their feet. They were gone. Vanished. No. Death. Just ... removed, like a mistake. Erased from paper. The message was clear. Violence will not be allowed. The people began to change. They stopped looking to the council. They looked to Earth, to the Helios, to the Leviathan, to the voice of Alaradane, to the light of the Earthborn. Inside secret council meetings, leaders whispered, "If Earth can shut down our fleets, we have no defense. We need to build something new. We need to strike." First, but no one trusted each other anymore. And without trust, there was no strategy, only fear. On the Ark Leviathan, the core pulsed. And this time, it reached deeper into old systems, forgotten eyes, buried servers. Earth wasn't just taking over fleets. It was taking back everything. All the technology it once shared with the galaxy, all the knowledge others had, stolen. Now returning to its source in one night. Hundreds of council systems lost access to Earth-based tech. Ships failed. Stations powered down. Weapons froze. The council had never realized how much they still depended on Earth's old code, old circuits, old machines. Now they knew, and it was too late. Inside the chamber, Irel stood alone. Most seats were empty now. The council was broken, and in the silence, one final message arrived. From Earth, just 3 words. "You were warned." Virel stared at the screen. He whispered almost to himself, "They're not invading. They're taking back what was always theirs." Across the galaxy, the stars burned a little brighter, because the giant wasn't just awake now, it was walking. They thought Earth would ask for peace. They were wrong. They thought Earth would want power. They were wrong again. Earth didn't want control. It wanted justice. And now, judgment had begun. On the ruined planet of Kelvernine, the sky turned black. Not with smoke, Not with warships, but with light. Soft white light that shimmered in the clouds, moving slowly. Like waves, people came out of hiding. They expected death instead. They saw them earthborn, tall, silent, eyes glowing. They walked through the streets, touching nothing, saying nothing, and yet buildings healed, crops regrew, water flowed again. The people cried because someone had come, not to conquer but to restore. But not all places received kindness. On the cruel world of Vortran, where slaves still mined deep below the surface, Earth sent something different. No light, no ships, only a pulse, invisible, but powerful. Every collar around a slave's neck unlocked. Every door opened. Every prison wall turned to dust. And every guard gone. Not killed. Just gone. Erased. Then came the voice, broadcast across the galaxy. Elara Dane. Speaking once more, but not from Helios, this time from Leviathan. You broke peace for profit. You turned freedom into chains. You ruled through fear. That ends now. This is not an invasion. This is correction. Across thousands of worlds, the message repeated. People listened. Some cheered. Some fell to their knees. Others ran, fearing what might come next. But one thing was clear. No one could stop it. Inside the broken council chamber, only a few members remained. KL-tar, bitter and angry. XIL.com, but uncertain. VRL, tired and afraid. They've taken 40 systems in a week, Keltar shouted. Without a shot. That's the point, Zil replied. They're not playing the same game. Keltar slammed his fist down. Then we changed the game. In secret, Keltar activated an old weapon, not council approved, not legal A. Hidden satellite from the Draleen Wars made to cause artificial suns to explode. Its name, Sunbreaker, his target, a planet Earth, had just restored his goal. Send a message. No one rules without fear, whispered. The satellite fired. It took 8 minutes. Then nothing. The satellite disappeared. Gone. No explosion, no signal. And in its place, hovering in space, the Leviathan.kel-tar received a message on his private screen. Only 2 words. We see. The next day, the Draleen homeworld lost power. Not just lights. Everything. Every defense system. Every ship. Every command post. Gone. Still there physically, but useless. The people weren't harmed, but their control was, and that was the worst. Punishment of all, Cal screamed in rage, but no one listened, because now, even his own people had turned away from him. They called it the Earth's silence, and to them was holy. Back in the shadows of the galaxy, rebel groups tried to rise. Mercenaries offered to fight. Earth.old warlords promised to restart the arms trade, but no matter what they did, Earth was already there, steps ahead, every time they planned. Every time they moved, a quiet whisper came through their systems. This ends now. And it did. Every time. Some said Earth had eyes everywhere. Some said Earth was everywhere. The truth, no one knew, not even the Council. Because Earth no longer used simple weapons or soldiers. It used knowledge, prediction, correction, and once it decided someone was a danger to balance, it vanished. No war, no trial, only silence, in the deepest part of the Leviathan. The core pulsed stronger than ever. Old programs merged. Ancient signals flowed again. Earth was waking up more than just ships. It was waking memories. And buried inside the Leviathan was the final protocol. If the galaxy cannot change, we will change. It, on a quiet planet once called Eden 5, human child looked up at the sky. He saw the Earth symbol glowing above the clouds, 3 stars in one line. His mother held his hand. He asked, "Is Earth coming?" She smiled, tears in her eyes. "No, my love," she said. "Earth is already here." The galaxy was no longer the same. The stars were quieter. The council was broken. Old empires had fallen, and everywhere, One name echoed Earth, but not as it once was. Not just a blue planet in the corner of the Milky Way. Earth had become something greater. A force, a balance, a final judgment in a galaxy full of corruption. From the dark edges of space, the Leviathan floated, silent, watching, waiting. Its massive body shimmered like a living mountain of metal and light inside. Living being was ready. It had learned, it had watched for centuries, and now it had decided. Commander Alara Dane stood on the Leviathan's bridge. Her voice was steady. This is not war. This is the end of chaos. Today we give the final order. The few surviving members of the Galactic Council gathered on a small moon called Orion's Rest. It was once neutral ground. Now it was the last place where the galaxy's leaders could speak freely. But even here, Earth was listening. Varel, once the proud leader of the Council, now looked smaller, weaker. He stood and said softly, "We had a chance to change. We did not take it. And Earth did what we could not." The others sat in silence, even Keltar. Once full of rage, said nothing now. There was nothing left to fight with, and nowhere to hide then. It happened. Every system across the galaxy lit up, not with warnings, but with calm. White light. A symbol appeared on every screen, every ship, every sky, the mark of Earth. A voice followed, soft, clear, and final. The time of rulers is over. The time of fear is over. You were given centuries. You wasted them. Now we take responsibility. Across thousands of worlds, machines powered down, and restarted not under Council control, but under Earth's network. The final order had begun. The order didn't bring armies. It brought systems, rules fair. Trade, clean water, open knowledge, free speech, no warships between planets, no slavery, no weapons in orbit. Every planet that followed the order received Earth's full protection, and every planet that resisted went dark, not destroyed. Just paused, their systems frozen, their leaders vanished, until the people were ready to change. On one world, people protested the change, but then they saw what Earth offered: free medicine, clean air, and to hunger. They stopped protesting and started building on another world. A warlord tried to fight. He launched missiles at the sky, but they stopped mid-air and fell like feathers. He vanished that night, and in his place, a group of children stood now free. Earth had created something the galaxy had never seen before. A system where no one ruled, only balance, only fairness. And Earth didn't sit on a throne. It watched, and when needed, it acted in time. People stopped fearing Earth. They welcomed it. They called it the Guardian, the Silent Watcher. The Old One returned. Legends grew. Songs were written. Children learned about Earth not as a planet, but as a protector, on a quiet hill. On a moon orbiting Earth, Alara Dane stood watching the stars. She spoke to the core. They will grow now. They will stumble, yes, but we will guide them. Not with war, not with control, but with wisdom. The core pulsed softly, a reply without words. Elsewhere, deep in unknown space, other ships like Leviathan slowly awakened. Hidden Earth arcs, forgotten stations, guardians of peace, sleeping in the dark, and they too were ready, not to fight, but to wait, watch, and if needed, return, because Earth didn't want to rule forever. It only wanted the galaxy to remember. Freedom is not given by power. It is protected by those who never wanted power at all. And so, the stars became quieter, not with fear, but with peace. And somewhere, in the silence of space, a single line appeared across every sky. Earth is always watching. The end.